Please stand by. Good day, everyone, and welcome to the Change Healthcare Knowledge to Perform conference call. Today's conference is being recorded. You are encouraged to submit your questions via the web at any time by using the chat feature in the upper right-hand corner of your WebEx. Type in your question, address to all panelists, and click on Send. At this time, I would like to turn the conference over to James Bush. Please go ahead, sir.
Very good afternoon. My name is James Bush. I'm with the Change Healthcare Education team, and today we'll be going over introduction to Attach Assist. Now, Attach Assist is one of the newer functionalities, contracted functionalities inside of Relay Assurance Plus. So we'll be kind of talking about the function and how it can benefit you, and I'll show you also a demo on how to utilize the function if you decide to go that route. Now, the function itself, again, I want to mention that it's a contracted function. So in order to gain access to this particular feature, if your organization doesn't have this particular functionality, you're going to have to reach out to your account executive and start communications with them in order to get that contracted item placed on your dashboard. All right? So we'll talk about a couple of things today. We'll talk about, of course, what Attach Assist is, how can Attach Assist actually assist you with your job functions, and how can you actually utilize Attach Assist. Okay. So what is Attach Assist? So as I mentioned earlier, Attach Assist, of course, is a contracted item. So we want to understand what the actual functionality is and how it can actually benefit you in your daily processes. What happens, of course, is you'll receive an ADR, which may be requesting more documentation or more information for a particular claim. And what Attach Assist, of course, allows you to do is actually upload that particular attachment to the document in response to that ADR, and allow you to send that information electronically versus sending it via snail mail or paper mail. Okay, so of course, without Attach Assist, you would of course have to leave Relay Assurance Plus. You'll have to locate the document, print it out, and then of course mail that document with the appropriate claim in order, of course, to get that process rolling. But with Attach Assist, you're able to actually upload that document to, of course, the actual claim itself, and it goes electronically. Now, mentioning the upload functionalities, you could, of course, upload it in a JPEG, PDF document, and I think a TIFF for image document as well. Okay, so there's no printing, there's no mailing with this particular process when it comes to utilizing the Attach Assist function. Okay. Now, of course, Attach Assist is going to allow you to reduce paper and improve efficiency and, of course, decrease costs as far as paper costs and printing costs goes. In addition, you'll also find that, of course, it's going to increase give you a decrease, I should say, reimbursement time typically, of course, dropping it down to 7 to 14 days versus the 30 to 90 days where you're sending your paper attachment. In addition, of course, to secure information, we're sending everything, of course, electronically, and of course, it goes attached directly, of course, to the actual claim form itself. Okay. Now, of course, other proof of document submissions, of course, to the actual Medicare system. Now, this may differ from the traditional attachment option from Relay, which is an outsourced functionality. This one actually is now directly on the toolbar versus the previous function within the system, and this, of course, works hand in hand with the Medicare system versus the previous version of the attachment option. Okay. Now, there are other options you have, of course, with the Attach Assist option. With the Attach Assist, you're also having the capability to monitor and track the status of that particular attachment within the system. So you'll see some filtering capabilities, reporting capabilities, and we can utilize our reconciliation manager in order to actually track the those particular attachments within the system. So when I go over to the sample, the sandbox here, you'll be able to see actually on the filter how you can actually target the claims and their actual status within the attachment, the actual status of it. Has it been received? Is it pending? Do they accept that attachment or do they reject the attachment? And of course, I'll also show you some of the reporting functions within the system and where you can go to actually pull said report there. Lastly, you're going to also be able to see on the Claims History tab and the Payer Activity tab the attachment itself or the status of said attachment on the actual claim form itself. And just kind of breakdowns about what's happening or what's occurring throughout the system without, of course, Attach Assist. Of course, attaching a document, you have to print the document out. And, of course, Attach Assist, of course, allows you to utilize a one-click functionality to upload that particular document to within the system. And, again, I'm going to show you inside of a sandbox how that functionality actually occurs within Relay Assurance Plus. One moment, please. I'm going to switch over to our actual system here. So I'm going to share my screen. All right. So I'm here in the sandbox. Actually, you can actually access this via Relay Learn. And I'm in the Attach Assist or the Introduction to Attach Assist simulation. In the simulation, I just want to point out a couple of things when you're targeting claims that have attachments to them and how to actually identify them. Obviously, of course, we want to make sure that we're choosing our release claims or in a release claim status. I'm also choosing direct for, of course, those claims that have been submitted direct entry. The area that becomes important when choosing the status of the attachments, if you notice on this Advanced Filter tab, there's a whole section now, and you may even see this on your filters now. There's a whole section devoted to attachments. And there's a couple of categories here: no attachment, created, sent, pending, acknowledged, error, and rejected. And in addition, of course, there's a created date to aid you in the search option. You can utilize this in the forms of filters for your reports or to filter out when you're looking for your claims. Other elements that we, of course, have here, we can, of course, target the date range when looking for our attachments, and lastly, the reason codes that we can, of course, look. Each attachment will come with an additional reason code, which I'll show you in the help option, how you can identify the status or reason code that will populate on the actual claim form itself. To the next one here. All right. So after you've targeted a claim that possibly needs an attachment to it, the Attach Assist functionality is located on the toolbar. It is right next to the second printing option on your toolbar. For many of us, you've probably seen this key already, but it's grayed out. If you do not have the contractor feature, it's probably grayed out. But once it's, of course, activated, it should have a highlight in blue or royal blue there. It has the letter A there. And I'm going to point that out on my toolbar. There it is right there. Okay. Now, that attached is your actual additional functions option. It doubles as two actual functions, two contractual functions, Appeal Assist and Attach Assist. So when the user actually clicks on that, of course, they have capabilities to create an appeal, which is, of course, another functionality, and, of course, create an attachment. Now, once you click on the Create Attachment function, it will take you to it should open up another screen for you. Obviously, of course, we have to blur out some information, but it'll open up another screen for you and allow you to actually plug in the contact information or the attachment information. You're going to also have the capability of seeing any additional attachments that are there or creating a new attachment for that particular claim. You can, of course, input the attachment number, case number, ICN or DCN number, and, of course, type in any notes that you'd like to go with that particular attachment. So here at the very top, of course, you're going to have all of your claim information, the patient information, the actual payer, CPID is going to be located here, type of bill, statement information, financial class, all will be there, of course, in total charges. Directly underneath that, if there are any attachments already there, they'll be uploaded and listed underneath there with some basic information like the attachment name, its present status within Attach Assist, certain statuses like created, sent, and acknowledged by the payer. Again, these items are filterable on your filter in the bottom portion of the Advanced tab filter. You're going to also get your case number. There's going to be a payer reference number, like your ICN or DCN number. Okay, CPID or payer information, that's going to be, of course, populated there. Any additional notes that you may have for that particular attachment, the date it was created, the date it was sent, its acceptance status with the payer. Once that acknowledgement comes back, it'll be immediately populated there. In addition, it'll also be populated on the actual claim history tab as well, and the user that it was last updated by. Now, if you wanted to add an additional attachment, if there was attachment, if that attachment obviously wasn't there, you would go to this section to actually create a new attachment. Again, also plugging in that the information, the case number, ICD information, and any notes, and you would click on Create. That's going to allow you to upload that particular JPEG or PDF document in order to submit that that attachment. I think I saw one question about restrictions on payers. Yes, I think there are still some restrictions on which ones accept attachments and which ones don't, or electronic attachments and which ones don't. Your account executive, when you're going through the process of selecting the product, will be a better source of which payers and which ones won't allow the electronic attachment. But great question. Okay, other functionalities you're going to also see there, like, of course, return to claims, and then there's a send option in the middle there. Now, once you, of course, click on send, there's no recalling that attachment. The attachment, of course, will then go out with the actual claim form itself, so we want to make sure that we are not sending something and we're not ready for it to go. And, of course, there's the delete attachment option as well, which will, of course, will remove that attachment from the actual claim itself. Okay. The other element that I want to make sure that I point out within this particular process, you want to also remember that there's nothing in the system that cannot be done, that cannot be tracked. You want to make sure that you are that you're monitoring what, of course, is being attached out there. So underneath your reports option, create reports, there's a whole section underneath your release category labeled Attach Assist. That Attach Assist report underneath the release report is in a CSV format. The CSV format is going to allow you to open this document up in Excel. So that's how that image is going to come across, and of course you can, utilize your filtering options in Excel or pivot tables if needed in order to transfer that information to maybe a more readable format for yourself. But again, it's going to be underneath your report, release reports, and it'll be, of course, your Attach Assist report. It'll be in the CSV format. Okay. Before we press forward, Kristen.
Hi, everyone. This is Kristen Berry, your contact for the Knowledge to Perform webinar series. As we do every month, we're going to do a poll, which you will see to the right of your screen. You have about 1.5 minutes to answer, so please let us know your thoughts on today's topic, as well as any topics you would like to hear in future webinars. Next slide, please, James. While all of you are working on this, I wanted to provide a preview of our next topic. We will be taking a holiday break in December. and we will start the series back up in 2018. So don't miss the January meeting where Julie Poole, Director Customer Community, will share a new tool designed to help improve individual and organizational success through peer-to-peer discussions, education, and real-time resources. This will be taking place on Wednesday, January 10th from 2 to 3 o'clock Eastern Time. You'll be receiving an email at a later date with additional details along with the link to register. So that everyone can please go ahead and hit submit on your poll. You just have a couple more seconds here. And I will now turn it back over to James. James, whenever you're ready, you can feel free to continue.
Oh, I've been talking with the phone on mute. My apologies.
Oh,
yes.
no problem.
The slide is actually incorrect. It should read Wednesday, January 10th, correct, Kristen?
Oh, yes, that's correct. Excuse that typo.
Yeah. Typo, our apologies. Same bat time, but January 10th. Now, to answer some of the questions that may have come up, to gain access to Attach Assist, you're going to need to, it's a contracted item, so you're going to have to communicate with your account executive, and that's how you're going to be able to reach out to Attach Assist. Are there restrictions with payers? Yes, yes. There are restrictions when it comes to certain payers. I do not have a list. However, I can reach back out to you, or I can do some more research on which particular payers. I know there are a few that don't allow at present electronic attachments. Yes, these are presently for attachments requests that are coming through ADR letters. Is it possible to get a copy of the presentation? Kristen?
We will not be distributing an actual copy of the presentation, but we are recording this webinar, and you'll receive an email within about a week of today that will contain a link for you to go back and listen to the recording at any time.
Okay. Another question came up, why only release claims? The information then, of course, is requested once the claim status is placed on release. You can't place it on an unreleased claim inside of our system. It's just how it's actually set up. But once the claim status is in a release status, the claim won't go until it'll kind of be in a holding pattern between ourselves and the clearinghouse until the claim actually until you upload the attachment to it, to that particular claim. But it won't go immediately for those claims that actually need an attachment to them. But unfortunately, yes, ma'am, it has to be on a released status in our system in order for you to utilize that function. Will you make a list of payers who do not accept electronic attachments public? Again, I would have to reach out to you personally. I would have to compile that list from the powers that be to figure out which ones exactly don't accept those claims publicly, accept those attachments. The attachments actually go over immediately. They're accepted immediately. They go along with the claim electronically. So if it takes the claim 2 days to get there electronically or a day to get there electronically, the attachment goes there in 1 day as well. How do I add another employee on your mailing list? Kristen.
You can reach out to me. My email address is kristen.berry@changehealthcare.com. You can also find this on the emails that come through about Knowledge to Perform. On the right side, there will be a link for you to click to get in contact with me. If you send me an email, then I can respond with the instructions onto how others can register to receive them as well.
I saw a question earlier about whether or not it will work in tandem with Epic. This will be, in most cases, yes. Again, the information that should be through your DEP extract should be, of course, to populate the information back over to your Epic system. Now, I'm not exactly sure how you may be utilizing it. Some places use it, of course, as the primary source of truth, and they may not be actually correcting or touching any claims inside of Relay Assurance Plus. But if that is the case, you should have no problem with actually just uploading the document. Any information that pours back onto the claim form as it hits back into Epic, meaning the status of the attachment, should also pour back in, as it pours back into Relay, that should also pour back into Epic through your DEP extract for that individual who asked the question about Epic. Will this be a different DEP than clearinghouse responses and 277 responses? Not necessarily. I say that because the way it's pouring back over into on the history tab, the 277 responses and the DEP extract should also pour back into your host system. The information that's coming back from the attachment comes back in the exact same status, or in that fashion, I should say, and should also populate on the history tab, and then, of course, in turn, also pour back onto your HIS or your host system. So, very good question. Is there a limit on how big the attachment is? Actually, I'm not sure on that question. I would have to do more research, and the same thing goes for if you can pull directly from the McKesson patient folder and attach them. Again, I'll have to do more research on that, and I can maybe email you personally when I find a solution for that one. All right. Excellent. Well, again, thank you guys so much for the opportunity. Again, if you are interested in utilizing Attach Assist, the person that you would contact first, of course, be your account executive to kind of go over the functionalities and features. They can also provide you with a demonstration. In addition, if you will log on to Relay Learn, and Relay Learn, there's also some sources there. And you can, of course, play around in the sandbox in order to see if you are, if you like that particular function. And that, of course, will also be a great place to find out more information about maybe which payers or the limitations of the actual system itself. Okay, Kristen?
That is all we have for today. Thank you all for attending today, and I look forward to January's webinar.
And that does conclude today's conference call. Thank you, everyone, for your participation. You may now disconnect.